Yes,
So
absolutely.
Oh, don't record yet. We're not on yet.
We're still being
Oh,
silly.
oh,
well, that's Helene
Okay.
delete.
she'll wipe that out.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm like I said, I'm having trouble with my internet. So if I wait till later, I might not be able to do it.
Right, well, it
That's fine.
says this meeting is being recorded.
It already
So,
said, and everybody has to say okay if you want it, so you have to say
oh,
okay.
I see, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Don't confess
okay.
to any crimes because it's
that's
recorded.
right.
Right.
Keep it under your hat.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot to put a hat on.
Oh,
Wait, wait.
Oh, yeah, she's got all the hats.
Oh, don't ask. Oh, she's got.
what's with the hats? Tell me about the hats.
I wear a hat every Shabbat, and
Oh,
I have about a
beautiful.
dozen beautiful hats to wear.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
but they're down the hall. So if you really want a hat, I can run and get it.
Okay.
Noreen, are you actually recording? It says
Yes.
this meeting is being recorded.
Yes,
You're not really
Yes.
recording this, are you? You're going to,
they're
Yes,
gonna erase this part, though. They could erase this part.
Helene can erase the redundant part.
okay, okay. Very talented. Okay.
So
Okay,
Rabbi
she
Miriam,
is.
we're expecting about 27 people tonight. You had
Oh,
asked before?
lovely.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice.
So
Okay.
where are you originally from?
Toronto.
Yeah,
I
she's
was
Oh,
born and
wow.
raised in Toronto. I grew up
Oh,
going to
boy.
the Tzedek and I went to Bialik Hebrew Day School.
okay.
And I lived in the US for 12 years and in Israel for 3 years, for 4 years, and then came back to Toronto 15 years ago.
Wow. But at the
Um,
same time, my older daughter moved to Boston.
oh, really?
Yeah. Never coming back.
You don't know.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're here now, right, Rabbi Miriam? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here in Toronto. I was the rabbi of the Danforth Jewish Circle for 12 years,
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
and then stepped down 2 years ago to join the faculty of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality.
So are you there full time?
I am.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. But I know Rabbi Jordan, I think he's part-time because he's part-time with us and then
That's
part-time
right.
with the Institute. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. You're lucky to have him, and he's lucky to have you.
Yeah, no, he's wonderful. And he's done some, lovely meditations with us too over the holidays. And we
Mm.
had one Shabbat that we had,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we did sort of a very meditative service. It was wonderful. We all really enjoyed it and we felt you come out feeling so at peace, So, and I've also been attending the 12:30 on Zoom, your daily sit.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so whenever I am home at that
Mhm.
time, I've been and they're wonderful. It's
Yeah.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
so you lead them too, I imagine, sometimes?
Sometimes, not so often, just because I'm doing other things. Sometimes I host. Um, so somebody else is leading, but I'm introducing them, and then there's question and answer period at the end, so I facilitate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. For those who don't know about it, IJS has a free daily Jewish meditation sit.
Mhm.
So there's some instruction and some teaching, usually connected to the Torah portion or to the holiday or some theme that's alive in the present. And then they lead a meditation for the whole
Yeah,
group.
it's
And it's
very nice. Some do it
12:30
with
every
music.
day. Really lovely opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
And what's nice is they also do the mourner's Kaddish
Yeah.
uh, as well at the end. So anyone who is saying Kaddish, so it's really, you feel like almost like you went to a service,
Yeah.
It was
And it's
very,
such a lovely community. It's there could be anywhere from 100 to 300 or more
oh,
people.
more. Yeah, when I go, it's over 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
some people who come every day if they can.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
and even people who have never met each other start to feel a sense of community
Mhm.
and connection and support.
Yeah, no, it's great. Listen, we all did that during COVID, and so
Yeah.
it's nice we're able to continue this way. It gives people an opportunity. You're right, even if we're not able to get somewhere, to feel connected. Yes, so
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's very nice. We'll wait a few more minutes because we still
Yeah.
don't have that many on.
And still have 2 whole minutes. There's
Yes.
so much that can happen in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Always the one that comes just on time.
Mhm. Maybe just as we're waiting for people to arrive, I'll suggest that you make sure that you're in a chair that's comfortable. Um, and I'll invite you to sit. You can also meditate lying down or standing, but to make sure that your space is conducive to practice.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. Mm.
And if there are distractions like open tabs on your computer or your cell phone is nearby, you might want to close things, move them out of the way so that you can really receive the gift of this time that you've given to yourself to be here. And can everybody hear me okay? Am I
Yes.
loud enough?
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up, nods. Okay,
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, so we have more people coming on now. Okay, that's good.
I can also see that I have a light shining down on me. It's
Mhm.
not my heavenly glow. It actually is a light fixture. If that's distracting, I can turn this light off.
Well, I guess most of us will have our, I mean, I always have my eyes closed when I do meditation, so.
Great. I could have lied. I could have said, I can't help it. That's just my radiance. But, you know.
And also to let people know if you want to change the view, you can change the view to have Rabbi Miriam as, you know what I'm saying? Almost the whole view, so you could change that top,
Yeah.
saying where it shows view.
And I don't think I have anything in my teeth, so that's fine. If I'm bigger on your screen, I'm good.
Oh, now I can see. I made you now, so I see a beautiful earrings on.
Oh, lovely. Hmm.
We're up to 16 now. Yes. Ellen, do you want to start now? It's 7:31. You want to wait one more minute?
Well, I guess, you never know who signs up and then changes their mind or forgets to come.
Right, why don't you go ahead and I'll keep an eye on the waiting room.
Okay.
Okay, oh, hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I moved to go to a more comfy chair. So
Okay.
I have to just get organized. Okay, so I guess so. Let's begin. And I would like to begin by welcoming everybody this evening. And looking forward to a very, very interesting and thoughtful program. I would like to make a special welcome to Margie Miller, who is an international past president of Women's League, and she decided to drive from Florida to Toronto this evening to be with her friends. So I'm so happy to see you. It was so nice of you to come. I'm going to start off. I have a little Devar Torah to read, and then we will introduce our speaker and I will stop talking. So, Women's League anniversary. In this month in which we observe Women's League anniversary, we remember our founder, Matilda Schechter, whose spirit imbued us with a vision sublime, a vision that came to be a vision that took the form of a splendid edifice, not of mere cement and stone, but an edifice of heart and soul and love. We remember the hosts of pioneering women, architects of the spirit who invested it with their very essence and who adorned it with eternal treasure of our people, fiery faith and lofty thought. They carried with them precious gifts from the treasure house of Matilda Schechter. Today, we have faith that there is a future rich in promise, that we all have purpose, and that our lives have meaning beyond this moment. We are the architects of the future. We are the playwrights who will determine its drama. We are historians who will fill in the blank pages. We ask for God's blessing. May we have the courage to be partners with Him in these tasks. May we have the strength to work with Him towards these goals in the years that now unfold. We ask that God take love and root it within our hearts so that compassion and understanding may flower there. This was written by Sadie Astor from West Woodbury, Massachusetts, 5745. And now, I guess it's time to introduce our speaker. So I have the honor of welcoming Rabbi Margles. Beth David Women President. Okay. Rabbi Miriam Margles works with our very own Rabbi Jordan Ben-Appel at the Institute of Jewish Spirituality, and we are thrilled to have her join us. Oh, sorry, never mind. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong lines. Okay. We are very pleased to present Rabbi works with our very own Rabbi Jordan Ben-Appel at the Institute of Jewish Spirituality, and we were so happy to have her here this evening leading a meditation program for us. Miriam has a long and rich association with us, having taught on various retreats and programs over the years. She joined the Institute as a senior core faculty over a decade as the rabbi of the Danforth Jewish Circle here in Toronto. She is a graduate of the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College and alumni of the Wexner Graduate Fellowship and the Jerusalem Fellows at the Mandel Leadership Institute. Miriam is a founding faculty member at the Ramenu Yeshiva, serving as a fellow with the Rising Song Institute, co-founding the award-winning educational program Engaging with Israeli-Palestine Conflict, with the Israeli-Palestine Conflict Encounter, and recording her original Jewish music with the Hadar Rising Song and Ensemble. She's a busy lady. And now, Rabbi.
Thank you for that warm introduction. It's really delightful to see your faces. I'm sure there's more to you than just from the neck up. I'll assume there's a whole bunch. And it's particularly wonderful, even if we're not in person, to see your eyes and your smiles and to arrive with you. So I want to start with some singing. I put words in the chat. It's very simple. Hineni, here I am. I'm going to start singing. You're muted, so nobody else is going to hear you. You are invited to bring your voice, to bring breath, and to arrive together. Hineni, 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 here I am. Hineni, 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 here I am. Hineni, hineni, here I am. Hineni, 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 here I am. One more time. Hineni, 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 here I am. Hineni, 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 here I am. So take a moment with eyes closed or just gazing gently down for a few moments to notice what it's like to be here right now. Here I am. Can you be just a little more here? What would change in how you're sitting or your breath or your attention to be a little more here? I invite you to take 3 deep breaths, slow and full, if that's comfortable for you. And on the exhale, you can let out a little bit of a sigh to release your day, release anything from moments previous to this one. And maybe arriving even a little more here. And feeling one more breath move through you. You can gently open your eyes or bring your attention back to the screen. Hello, dear people. Good evening. So before I say a bunch of things, I'm really curious why you're here. What are you doing here? I want to invite you to write in the chat why you came tonight. Why are you here? I see to relax and connect with myself and the group, a new experience to relax, to de-stress, to do some Tai Chi meditation. I do some Tai Chi meditation and wanted to experience a different type for group meditation. Let's see if there are any other reasons or intentions. I'm here because I feel meditation is so powerful in bringing us closer to being in the now, to try to soften the skin, to relax. What lovely reasons. And there may be others. You're welcome to add yours as I start speaking. And I just want to check, we're together for an hour, is that right? Yes, okay, good. If you want to stay on for 5 hours, boy, are we going to do some meditating. But for just the hour, we'll get a taste. And I'd love to see a show of hands. How many of you either have a meditation practice or have engaged in meditation, mindfulness meditation before? Okay, so a few people with experience and a lot of people who are quite new to this. Great, you're all welcome. So maybe I'll start by saying a little bit about what is mindfulness meditation. Does that sound like a good place to start? Why not? And I'll say that my learning and practice of meditation has come from a blending of Buddhist practice and instruction, almost always in a Jewish context and immersed in Jewish language and Jewish sources and framing. So that's one of the things that I find so inspiring about Judaism is that as we have lived in all kinds of different places and been exposed to different cultures, Judaism has found ways to bring rich ideas and practices from other places into Judaism through a Jewish idiom. And there's a lot in Judaism that is mindful, that invites us to engage in mitzvot, in all kinds of practices, in prayer, in a way that's awake and aware, and always coming closer and closer, being intimate with this very moment. And at the same time, Judaism often doesn't lay out the clear instructions of how to do that. So that's where a lot of the wisdom of Buddhist tradition comes in to give our Jewish lives mindful aliveness and awareness. So what is mindfulness meditation? It's worth saying that there are quite a few different forms of meditation. There are meditations like transcendental meditation, where you get into a trance-like state. There are other kinds of meditation. This is what I'm teaching is mindfulness, being mindful. So what is mindfulness meditation? We are practicing being, we're practicing paying attention in the present for an extended period of time with a quality of non-judgment and compassion. Paying attention on purpose. I don't know if I said that the first time. Paying attention on purpose in the present for an extended period of time with qualities of non-judgment and compassion. That's all it is. But let me take that apart a little bit. So paying attention, you know how to pay attention, right? If you're walking on the ice and you're really noticing, where is it icy? Where can I place my foot? Balancing, your full attention is in what you're doing, right? Do people have that experience? If you're holding a brand new baby with its very tender, floppy neck and head, and you're cradling it in your arms, wow, are you ever paying attention? But we know we don't always pay attention. How many times have you thought, oh, I'm going to go get something from the kitchen, and you get to the kitchen and you've completely forgotten why you're in the kitchen, or you've walked from one place to another and somebody says, what's the weather like outside? And you say, I have no idea. Well, it wasn't raining because I would have noticed if it was raining, but I didn't notice if it was sunny, cloudy, what was going on. My mind was somewhere else. We know what it's like to not pay attention. So in mindfulness meditation, we are paying attention on purpose. That is our focus, to notice, to observe what's happening right now. what is right now. And we do this in the present. You know, our minds have been conditioned to run all over the place, to run into worry and fantasy, to have an argument with somebody from 8 years ago that you're still arguing about in your mind. It's not in the present, but that's where my mind gets absorbed. Or I'm planning the menus for the week, or I'm problem solving, or I'm comparing myself to somebody else or some other thing. Our minds are habituated, are conditioned to run from the present. So in mindfulness practice, we are paying attention to the present on purpose. Over and over again, bringing our minds back to some anchor of focus, of attention. And we notice when our minds run away. We might not notice for 10, 15 minutes that our minds are elsewhere, but like magic, there's oh, I've been thinking of something else. I haven't been paying attention to the object that I've chosen as my anchor of attention. So here we are paying attention on purpose in the present. And many practices choose some sensation in the body as our anchor of attention. Because as much as the mind can be all over the place, our sensations in the body are always in the present. Think about that for a moment. So I might be having thoughts of something else, but thoughts produce sensations in the body. If I'm worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, in the present, my heart starts racing. I might start breathing more shallow up in my chest. I might start to sweat a little bit. So instead of thinking about my worry, I bring attention to the direct felt sense in my body, and wow, I'm in the present. And then I notice change. I notice what those sensations are doing. And I'm present with this moment. So paying attention on purpose to the present or in the present, that's our kavanah, our intention. And we can notice that when we pay attention for an extended period of time, so let's say I choose the sensation of my breath moving in my body at a prominent place, like let's say my belly. Everyone, you can put your hand on your belly if you'd like to, and feel, just inhale and exhale a few times, and feel the belly expand and contract, expand and contract. So we do that with our minds resting almost like a feather on a breathing chest. So our attention is resting with the place of focus, of attention. We'll call it home base, to settle the mind, to be present moment to moment to the rising and falling of the breath. And I'll say that there's nothing all that special about the breath. It doesn't have to be the breath. But what's so wonderful is that your breath is always with you, as long as you're alive, thank God. It's always changing. And it's intimate. It's right here in my body. So it's a great place in the body to practice touching with my attention, keeping my attention on that intention. So there we are, again, paying attention on purpose to the present moment for an extended period of time. And in all of that, we keep asking the question of what is true? What's here? Now what's here? Now what's here? What is true? This is the emet. Over and over again, intimate with the truth. It's interesting to notice that when our minds race and are in other places, I don't know what's actually true in the present. I might be projecting all kinds of things onto the person who's talking to me because I'm not actually listening, but I got triggered by something that they said, or I'm in a rush and I'm already thinking what I think they're going to say next. But slowing down and being with the curiosity of saying, what is actually true, moment to moment to moment. And when I notice that my mind has left the present moment, that's such gold, because then I get to engage in tshuva, in returning. You know, we have that beautiful word teshuva for repentance, but it literally means returning, coming back to my intention. So we set a kavanah, an intention, we get distracted, we come back home. In one 10-minute period of sitting, our minds might leave and come back 100 times. I want to be really clear, it's not a failure, it's not a problem for your mind to be distracted. A lot of people think that meditation is about having no thoughts or being totally in blissful clarity. That's not what my mind is doing. I don't know what your mind is going to do. But actually, mindfulness meditation is about noticing what our minds are doing. All the time they are elsewhere, but often we don't notice. So we are practicing this muscle of intention, noticing when we've left our intention and coming back home. And the last thing that I'll say about our practice, about what this mindfulness meditation is that we choose the quality of our attention. So I could do it very judgmentally. Okay, I'm in the present and I'm constricted with it. And every time my mind wanders, oh, I did it again, and bring it back. And oh, my mind is wandering again. Instead, our kavanah is saturated with non-judgment and with loving kindness. That's what we want to just infuse our minds with as we engage in this practice, so that we have an orientation of being with what is true, with warmth, with friendliness. One of my teachers, a great Jewish mindfulness teacher, Sylvia Boorstein, says, we're practicing to make our minds a lovely neighborhood. I want to live in a nice neighborhood in here. I could be constantly criticizing myself, having thoughts of not being enough, not doing enough, arrogance, diminishment, criticism of others. What does that serve? I want to be in emet and chesed, truth and compassion together. I'm going to pause for a moment and see if there are questions. And then we'll try it on. Okay, let's try it. So here's what we're going to do. First, maybe a couple things about posture. So it's great to sit. I'm going to wiggle forward on my chair so I can put my feet flat on the floor. And my pelvis can be tilted a little bit, so I'm right on my sits bones. And this posture might not be right for your body. It's more important that you sit in a way that feels like is a balance between being awake and relaxed. So if I'm too comfortable, if I'm kind of leaning back in my chair, that's not conducive to really being awake to pay attention. But if I'm too gripped and it's not comfortable, I'll create stress and strain, and that will occupy all of my attention. So if you need some back support, that's great. You can practice lying down. You can practice standing up. And you can feel your spine long and tall, rising up. You can have your eyes closed or just gently gazing down so you're not distracted visually. One isn't better than the other. But we turn our attention inside. Your hands can rest in your lap. And I invite you to choose some sensation that will be the home base for your attention. So it could be the belly that you were feeling with your hand. And if it's helpful, you can put a hand on your belly if that helps you anchor your attention there. Or you can feel it from the inside. And if for whatever reason, focusing on the breath is not comfortable, you can choose a different sensation. You could choose the palms of your hands resting in your lap, or sound arising and fading away. So be really clear about where your anchor of attention is. And I'm going to be quiet in just a minute and allow time for you to practice. Your attention resting, almost like a dragonfly sitting on a blade of grass. The dragonfly moves with the blade of grass as it moves. So you'll hold that attention of resting your attention. At some point, your mind will wander, and with such kindness and warmth, you'll invite your attention to come back to the direct physical sensations of your body, of your anchor of attention. So let's practice for 10 minutes. When your mind wanders, gently invite it to come back into sensation directly in your body at your home base. With each inhalation and each exhalation, you can ask yourself, what does this feel like now? What is this? This sensation, this breath, warm curiosity. How much sweet curiosity can you bring to your moment to moment experience? As we bring this practice to a close, with awareness, allow 2 full cycles of breath to move through your body. And let's gently bring our attention back to each other. So I'm curious, friends, what did you notice? I don't know if you can unmute yourselves, but the floor is open. What did you notice?
I was more conscious of my breath going,
Mm,
and leaving, and just noticing when I had thoughts and just gently letting them pass through me. So just being kind and compassionate, even if I have thoughts, and just noticing them, accepting them, and just letting them pass through.
beautiful. One phrase that we can use is about recognizing and including whatever arises. What is it? Embrace it. What is it now? Embrace it. And that might include unpleasant sensations. You might not love everything that you notice as you're with the present moment. We're softening our habitual grabbing for what we love and enjoy, and aversion, pushing away the experiences and sensations that feel unpleasant or uncomfortable. That sounds really beautiful, Dorothy. Noticing what's here, accepting it. Lovely. What else did people notice? Yes.
I noticed like nothing. I mean, nothing as in I pushed out all the thoughts of the day, and I just noticed that I wasn't thinking about anything I had to do or anything that was on my mind. So a lot of nothing, which is not usually what we ever think about.
Mm. How did you push the thoughts out of your mind? How did that work inside of you?
I don't know. I guess just concentrating. I guess I was concentrating on my breathing and my breath, and that's what I was. I guess that's what did it.
Beautiful noticing. So, in our practice, when we consciously choose something to put our attention on, the thoughts that usually run of their own accord, like a gaggle of squirrels running around in our minds, that when we choose a specific focus, the busyness often quiets and gets quieter. Now, it sometimes happens that when we put our attention deliberately on one point of focus, that the voices inside get louder. Okay, we get to notice that. But how beautiful that you noticed that by putting your attention on one thing, the other thoughts, the stream, got to settle. Thank you. What else?
I noticed how busy my mind is and how many times I had to consciously invite myself to come back.
Isn't that cool to notice? That's
Exhausting
amazing. Exhausting? Oh.
when
So
I'm aware of it.
uh-huh. Can you describe what made it exhausting?
Just, see my mind going in so many different places. I'm not usually aware that it's like when I'm not paying attention, it's just doing it and I'm not aware of it. But here, when I was trying to bring myself back, I was aware how much I have to work on bringing myself back. It wasn't just I was staying in one place.
Mm,
So I'm aware of how
mm.
many squirrels there are.
Yes. Counting them all, noticing,
Yeah.
them, and hopefully with a lot of kindness.
Yes,
Um,
I was doing it with kindness.
Lovely. One of the teachers that I watch a lot online, Gil Fronsdal, talks about befriending your life, befriending your experience. I find that quite a lovely phrase and framing, because the alternative is when we notice our thoughts, when we experience different things, we can become enemies of our experience. No, I don't want that. I don't like that. My mind, this is exhausting, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This is unpleasant. And we really go to war with ourselves. But that doesn't change what is, right? Our minds are kind of ridiculous sometimes. Reality is reality. And I watch in my own mind those times when I am an enemy of what is. And I fight and I push and I wish for it to be otherwise and so on. And that's a lot of energy expended in suffering. In suffering. I've created suffering for myself. The present might be painful. And if I can meet it with friendliness, doesn't mean I love what's happening, but I don't add to it the suffering of pushing against it, of refusing it. I want to notice that you engaged in really beautiful practice of like, okay, this is a lot. I'm here, I'm gone. I'm here, I'm gone. I'm here, I'm gone. And you're even, I had one teacher who would say, bring the tiniest smile to the corners of your mouth as you practice, just to find a little delight in, oh, my mind is going back and forth. There's effort in returning over and over again. Oh, how sweet. Kind of just gives some little kiss to engaging in the practice. What else? What did you notice? Yes, Noreen.
I find that, okay, I have tinnitus. So when I'm trying not to pay attention, I can hear it more. It's very hard to get rid of that sound.
Uh-huh. That's challenging. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. And working with any disabilities or issues or things that are going on in our bodies, there may be different practices that are more conducive. So, one thing that might be valuable to try is walking practice. That simple practice of putting, walking slowly, one foot down, feeling the transfer of weight, picking up the back foot, putting it down. It could be that with more attention on a moving, an experience in motion, that might bring a little less attention to the discomfort. And I don't know how uncomfortable it feels, but really loving and gentle attention to the
Yeah,
experience.
you kind of get used to it,
Uh-huh.
but then I'm supposed to be paying attention to other things here.
Mm.
So then, of course, that's all I can hear is the ringing.
Mhm.
And most of the time, not that I don't notice it, but it doesn't irritate me. I once went to a workshop and I started to wonder what I was doing there. I mean, these are people that can't go outside because they can hear the leaves making noise on the trees. I mean, I think I would probably have thrown myself out of the bus
Mm,
at that point in time. I'm certainly not that
yeah.
bad,
Mhm.
but some people have it really awful. So
Yeah. Oh, may they be held in care and comfort, and you too.
yeah. Anyway, I'm I'm okay.
Mm.
Would it help to focus on a sound? Like I've got the fan going in my
Mm.
room here, and I was kind of focusing on that rather than on my breath.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that help that it's
Maybe.
another sound, but it's something that you're focusing on?
Could
Doreen,
be. I mean, I have a fan in my bedroom, so it goes all night.
mm,
I
yeah.
mean, it helps me sleep some, but then, 4 o'clock I get up, so not so good.
Yeah. Doreen, do you want
I
to
try
say
not to.
do you want to say anything else about what it was like for you, what you noticed in
Yeah,
paying?
no, it was pretty good. I didn't find myself wandering off as much as I usually do. So you have a very soothing voice, and I think that set the tone for it.
Mm, great. Thank you.
I almost fell asleep.
Okay. Almost, but not quite.
No, because your voice came through.
Mm,
If you hadn't been speaking, I think I would have gone to sleep.
mm. A lot of people, myself included, fall asleep during meditation sometimes, especially if I'm on retreat. I just sat a 5-day retreat, and usually day 1.5, 2, meditation looks like this. That it's interesting to notice that our nervous systems buzz at a certain frequency when we're busy and doing, and our attention is much more focused externally. And when we um, turn away from, close the stimuli that are outside and slow down and are present with our direct experience, um, it's very common for sleepiness to come to the forefront. With continued practice, um, that probably won't happen as frequently. Um, so it's good to notice, oh, I was falling asleep, and it's not a problem, and I get to meet it without judging, with warmth and friendliness. That's part of what was happening. Great. Thank you, Anna. Let's take maybe one more. Yes, I see the letter A. You can, you can share what your first name is. Oh, I can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Agnieszka. Happy
Lovely
to
to
be
meet
here.
you.
Thank you for the practice. I wasn't sure in the beginning where I want to focus. I thought breath because it seems natural for the reason you mentioned. And then I felt, no, not today. And then I felt hands because that's what she mentioned. And after a very short time, didn't feel good. And I was just thinking, I'm not doing this right. I cannot even find the point of focus. And then I felt like, well, you know your point of focus. I know. It's my head because I had a lot of tension in my forehead and in my templates. And that was my point of focus from the beginning of the session. So I
Mm,
kind of decided that that's okay. Even you didn't mention the head, and maybe a head which is kind of tender and pulsating is not the best point of focus. But I said, whatever it is, that's my point of focus, truly. And
mm,
you mentioned the truth, and it changed everything for me because that really was easy to focus on my head because my head was like kind of really talking or not talking, but doing something which
yes.
needed my attention. And you said the thoughts are like squirrels. My thoughts were, some they were nice squirrels, but some were more violent or aggressive. And I
Mhm.
found that they were more disturbing to the connection with my head. So
Mm.
that was interesting that like gentle thoughts were easier to come back from, and they were easier to be warm towards,
Mm.
and kind of the kindness uh, you mentioned many times, but the ones which were more rough, they it was like the kindness kind of was disappearing, and
Mm.
it was more disturbance, I would say, in this coming back.
Mhm.
Um, and I really enjoyed. It was a very short 10 minutes, I have to say.
Yes,
And
good.
when it said 10, I thought like, oh, wow, 10 is a lot. But it seems like a 2 or 3 or whatever, but very short time. So kind of wish we would do it for longer.
And for some people, 10 minutes probably felt like 80 minutes. And so there may have been a range of experiences. Um, Lovely. In terms of where you focus, it's valuable to
Oh,
choose
sorry.
somewhere where you can feel direct sensation. And ideally, it's changing. Well, any sensation in the body is changing. But it's hard, for example, to focus on your elbow.
Mhm.
It's usually pretty static. But if you feel pulsing sensation in your head, that's a perfect place to put your attention, as long as you can stay with it.
Mhm.
It's often recommended when somebody's feeling some physical discomfort, not intense pain, but some discomfort. If you put your attention on, if I put my attention on my throbbing knee, not
Mhm.
crazy pain, but I start to notice instead of, oh, feeling, Ellen, could you just mute yourself for a moment? Great, thank you. Um, uh, that if I gently rest my attention on some discomfort, I actually can bring some breath around it. And
Mhm.
I can stay with the sensation and notice that it's not solid. It actually keeps shifting and changing. And that enables me to be with it with more warmth, with more gentleness.
Mhm.
So well done. It is helpful, ideally, to choose where I'm going to put my attention at the beginning of a sit. It's easy to spend a whole meditation sit going, no, no, I want to be over here. No, over here. No, over. This one's better. I like this better. But it sounds like you figured that out beautifully. Um, and the last thing that I want to say in relationship to what you shared so beautifully um, is that it takes practice to be with the difficult thoughts and difficult emotions. So that comes with time and with practice. Um, it's much more accessible to be with the things that are pleasant and notice, pleasant thought, oh, distracting thought, but okay, I'm including you, I'm including you. And when the thoughts come up that are more harsh, more fearful, um, it takes practice to greet those like a friend as well. We create our hearts and our minds like a guest house, and everyone's invited. Everyone's invited. So, friends, we're just at the end. I want to close with 1 minute of practice. So, I invite you again to just come back, to close your eyes or soften your gaze, to choose one anchor to sweetly rest your attention. Present moment to moment in this sweet present. with a quality of non-judgment, truth, and warm chesed, loving kindness. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, 1 second. Guys, I'm still teaching. Can you keep your voices down? The present moment. Thank you so much, everyone, for exploring together, for practicing together, and keep practicing. You know,
Thank you for coming.
we just one last sentence. We engage in this practice not to sit on the cushion, but so that in our lives, we're skilled at being present with warmth and truth, in difficult interactions, in joyous moments, facing real difficulties in the world, awake to all the beauty and blessing that surrounds us. So we're really fully alive in this holy life. Thank you very much, everyone.
And thank you, Rabbi Miriam. That was very, it was a wonderful session. And I think most of us really got something out of it. And I must say, I really liked, I took lots of notes, a lot of things about paying attention on the present, on purpose, for an extended period of time is very important. And just taking that time for ourselves, because it really clears our minds so that we can be in the present and really experience life in the now and really sort of loving what is. So thank you so much for sharing, your love of this meditation practice with all of us. And we really appreciate that you are here with us.
My pleasure. And please check out the Institute for Jewish Spirituality online. There are lots of courses, a lot of free offerings to continue to explore.
Yeah, especially the one that's 12:30 every day, just to try out because that's free of charge and it's at 12:30 every day on Zoom. And then just to get a little taste, and it's, very similar to what you did with us here today. And I think everyone really, really find that very useful and helpful. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
So
you
thank
very
you
much,
again.
Miriam.
Yes.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Be well. Many blessings to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. So
Thank
you'll go
you.
back to your family is waiting for you.
Thank you very much. That was great. Just what I needed.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I think we all need that.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Doreen, for inviting me, and
Thank you
Rose
for
and
coming, Margie.
Ellen,
I'm
I'll
so
see you
glad
next
you
week.
did.
For coming. Okay, we'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you.
All
You
the
too.
best.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Okay, Ellen, you have to stop the recording.
Oh.
Like I can't stop it because you're the